always racist, never wrong. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice. We're getting a mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Tell a friend like that's about you. Steve Guttenberg, one of the good ones, one of the nice guys in Hollywood, is joining us. He's in New York. He is a Palisades guy, was affected by the fire, and fled to New York, where he has a second home. Where are you staying, Steve?
Adam, first of all, I would rather you not say I'm in New York. If you could just say I'm in the Palisades, that would be pretty helpful for everything.
He's rebuilding. He's rolled up his sleeves, and he's rebuilding in the Palisades. And right now, Guttenberg's taking a break from working with the brave men and women of the Army Corps of Engineers, clearing other people's property at no cost, for no cost, helping neighbors, handing out bottles of water, even firing up his grill and cooking dogs for the brave men and women who work for the fire department. That's where he is. But he took a break to jump on Zoom with us. Right, Steve?
Absolutely. Only Hebrew national. We answer to a higher power.
That's right. Bun length all the time. So Steve's got a movie out. It's a Lifetime movie. It's called Kidnapped by Killer.
Wait, Adam.
Yes.
Adam, can I just start with, how are you doing and how's your family doing?
That's Steve Guttenberg. I'm good. I was in Malibu during the fires. I think you and I, and I have a recollection of where your home is because you very graciously invited the cast of Dancing with the Stars, season 6. I was reminded today. You and I did that together. You invited the entire cast over to your home for like a mixer, barbecue, and just a nice afternoon. And
that was fun.
And I remember your home being up the canyon in the Palisades. Also, I think Dennis Quaid lived up in a canyon up in the Palisades. I don't know if it was the same, but there's not too many of them.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He had a house maybe right around the block from me. He was renting one, Yeah,
I sort of have a recollection of going to his house and going to your house and having me, generally in the same neighborhood. So then when the fire hit, I thought, well, for sure Steve's house must have either been damaged or perished because he was up in the hills and not, although it was so random because it was this crazy fire where everything on the water side of the coastline burned down and a lot of stuff up on the hill made it, which is just so people know, the fire starts on the hill and then it works its way down to the coastline, but it's very...
Right.
It's counterintuitive to think that all the houses on the coastline went, but many houses in the hills were spared. How did that happen? So yours was spared?
Yeah, it was. But I tell you, it was spared because we had 2 fire trucks with fire personnel there 48 hours straight, Adam. And they were just standing there because, of course, we had no water. None of the hydrants had water. So they were using all the pools in the area and these water trucks that were filling up the 500-gallon fire trucks. And I was standing in the back with a really wonderful fire woman who is so strong. And she was Alaskan. She was an Eskimo. And we were standing there and the fire was just coming down. It was unbelievable, probably 200 yards from my house. And I said to her, aren't you afraid of this fire? It's like the devil coming down. And she said to me, well, you know what I say? Not today, Satan. Not today.
Wow. So the water was not in it wasn't coming through the fire hydrants, which is insane. James Woods just sent a tweet out the other day that I saw, which is a picture of the empty reservoir in the Palisades. So it was empty.
Yeah.
Listen, I know there's a lot of people, and I see them out there doing this. Hey, let's stop blaming people. There's nothing they can do. I got a couple thoughts on that. One is, if you go into there's nothing they could do, stop blaming people mode, then what's to stop this from happening every other year? I mean, I would look, no matter what the disaster, I would like to not necessarily attack people, but I would like to know, hey, if the reservoir was empty, who's in charge of the reservoir and why was it empty? There may be a good reason. But I don't think that makes me a bad person to ask those questions. If you've got a home up there and there's nothing coming out of the fire hydrants and the fire's coming down the hill, then I think it's reasonable to ask why in these modern times, in an era where you have some of the highest tax-paying burden in America, there's nothing coming out of the hydrants when the fire hits. I don't think that makes you a Republican or a Democrat or a good or bad person. I think these are just questions that we'd like answers to.
And yeah, those questions are obvious. It's the first thing you ask, and I asked those questions. The answer I got back was that at the time of the fire, which was the 7th of January, it's generally not a fire season. So what they do is they let the reservoirs go low so they can fix them, repair them, and that's the reason that they were low. Now, I agree with you. First of all, it all comes down to who's the boss. Well, the boss is the mayor, and the boss is the governor. Basically, that's the boss. I mean, they delegate everything, but the truth is, they have to have a 24-hour day job that they keep up on everything. That's the job. And the fact that in this day and age, they don't figure out a way to repair the reservoirs while they're full, because we're in a state that fires happen at any time of the year now. There is no fire season anymore. There is no rainy season. You know, it just happens any time.
Yeah.
And same with earthquakes and all kinds of stuff. So I agree with you. So the answer is somebody made a decision that they don't need to be full because fire season is over. That was a bad decision. And it was a really bad decision to not monitor all the fire hydrants because you probably have 10,000 fire people using all the fire hydrants at once. And isn't there a way to moderate those fire hydrants so they're not putting out so much so that the water lasts longer?
So
I am actually, yeah.
Well, I'm curious.
Yeah.
So you're in a neighborhood where almost everybody, including yourself, has a swimming pool. So while there's nothing coming out of the fire hydrants, there's at least, 30,000 gallons of water sitting behind your house in a pool. And
Right.
and your neighbors
Right.
have that as well. So somebody figured out we should suck the water out of the pool, put it into a tanker truck, and then have the tanker transferred into a fire truck?
No. The fire department has these engines that go right into the pool and go directly to the fire. The water trucks came to refill the fire trucks on their own, so there was a double holster, double bullets.
So what you saw the fire, you're in the backyard, and how many homes in your neighborhood burned, or did they?
11 out of 80 in our development.
Oh, okay. So you were spared, and now there's just the cleanup is still going on, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, it'll take years, and it's so rough. I got to tell you, when you were out in Malibu and you saw those houses that were burned, right? Of course you did.
I see them every
right?
day. I literally look out of my living room window and I can see 18 to 25 burnt lots. Just standing. I don't have to move. I just stand in my living room and I can see about 25 burnt lots from just where I'm standing.
Isn't it terrible? I mean, it's terrible, right?
Well, I'm very agnostic about things. It's like shit happens. It's kind of the way society works. I wish it didn't. It's baked in. And
Sure.
I would like, in my world, we are competent and we do our best to mitigate. And, I've said on many times, I've said, look, you can't prevent an earthquake. An earthquake is not preventable, but we know we live in earthquake country. And I was a contractor and I did earthquake rehab work and I've built and I know what the codes are. And so in Guatemala, when a 7.3 hits, the place is leveled because they don't build like they're in earthquake country. You see these, they go, oh, this town and this Guatemala or places in Central America, South America, leveled by a 7.3. We get a 7.3, and we get a little structural damage to a parking structure in Northridge, and a couple of freeway overpasses and 3 deaths. We don't have any kind of devastation. But same earthquake. Sure. We build for it. You know what I mean? In my world, we can't stop the earthquake. But we can understand we're an earthquake country and build for it. And what I'm saying with the fires is just like an earthquake. We cannot stop it. We're in fire country, but we can mitigate if we build for it. And we don't do anything for it because we have incompetent representation who's more worried about Black Lives Matter going to Ghana or, LGBT community or whatever. There's only so many hours in the day. If you're spending the lion's share of your day worrying about the LGBT community, the trans community, and ICE and fighting ICE and Black Lives Matter, then you have a limited amount of time to give toward reservoirs. I mean, it's a simple math equation. And I'm not even saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying we live in a place that's governed by people that are more interested in the trans community than the reservoir community. And that's going to be a problem at some point.
It's already a problem, but I do think that there's more time in the day to do all kinds of structural prevention, because I think that, listen, the dealing with the LGBTQ community and Black Lives Matter and making sure that people who don't have can somehow survive in this on our state and live well. And every human being deserves to live well, even if you're sitting on a couch not doing anything, you're a human being. And we I believe we as a community need to take care of everybody to a point. But I think there's plenty of time, and they have plenty of experts and plenty of people who could have done fire prevention 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
I know, but they don't care. That
sucks.
Well, listen, I mean, here's the bottom line. There's stuff I care about. There's stuff you care about. If I was mayor of Los Angeles and you asked me about the gay pride parade, would I like to be the grand marshal? I would go, no, I'm not interested. I don't have anything against those people. I don't care. It's not what I'm thinking about. And if they ask me if I'm going to be the grand marshal of the Black Lives Matter parade, I'd go, no, I don't really want to do that. And if they said you want to go to Ghana and be in some sort of dance ceremony where you're awarded a ceremonial head garb, I'd go, no, I don't really want to do that. I do want to focus on the reservoirs, but I like building. That's where my interests are. Karen Bass' interest is not in building. So I would say I would like to issue permits, fix a reservoir, see if we can get a fire dropping plane. Like, that's what I would think. And then they would say, but what about the gay pride parade? And I'd go, I'm not interested. If it's Sunday and it only takes an hour, I'll be there. But I'm going to be thinking about the reservoirs. Okay. She doesn't. Yeah. But she's not interested in that. And I'm just saying to everyone listening, once you get enough city council people, mayors and governors who aren't interested in what you're interested in, filling potholes, cleaning up graffiti, the nuts and the bolts of running a city, then you're going to have a shit city. I mean, but it's going to be great for the trans community. Okay. Let's not get too political. Let's talk about you for a second. So the house is there, but you're out. They're rebuilding. And thank God your house was spared. My house was spared, but your odds of 11 burned in a community of 80 are still 11 homes lost, but at least it was more than a coin toss for you. For me, I feel like if you took the 50 closest structures to my house, probably 41 of them are down to the ground.
Oh,
literally.
Oh.
If you just used a measuring tape and you just put it in the middle of my living room and did a circle around my house and did the 50 closest structures, I'd say 41 of them are down. That's how crazy. I have no idea why my place was spared, but I'll take it. Sure. Steve, for you, I always talk to you about Diner because Barry Levinson, and just one of my favorites. Yeah. And I always bring it up because there's a handful of movies like Diner or like Breaking Away that were sort of early 80s, late 70s, very funny, kind of smaller films. People don't really know how to categorize them because they're comedies, but there's a lot of pathos. And Breaking Away, which is one of my favorites as well, has a sort of flavor that Diner had.
Yeah.
And they're small, and they both slid under the radar a little bit, and then they don't get repurposed. They don't pop up enough. So you're going to have to go out and seek them. But watch Diner, everyone. That's just a great film.
And Danny was in Breaking Away too.
Oh, that's right. Daniel Stern. Daniel Stern was in probably Breaking Away in like 79 or 80. And then goes off to do Diner. So he's in two of my favorite sleeper kind of early 80s movies. And now I think he lives on a farm in Sculpts or something.
Yeah, about an hour out of the city. And he lives on this gorgeous home. First of all, he's a great guy, and his wife, Laura. And, his son is Senator Henry Stern.
That is so crazy because we got to find out how old Henry Stern is, because I have a vague recollection. I've never met. I shouldn't say I never met. I was on a flight. I think I was flying from L.A. to New York. Maybe I was in first class. Maybe it was, 1999. Maybe I was doing Letterman, or I was doing Stern or Howard Stern or something like that. And so he's 43 years old. So 23. Yeah, this would have been about right. So he was, Henry Stern, Senator Henry Stern was, 19 in 2000 was, 18 or something like that. This must have been about 2000. Right. And I'm on a flight and I see Daniel Stern and I'm like, I love this guy. And I think I say hi to him, and he's super nice. And I think he introduces me to his 17 and a half or 18-year-old son. And he says, we're looking at colleges. We're going to look at colleges. And and I'm assuming Henry Stern went to college back east, because we were leaving L.A. going back east. And so that guy was like a senior in high school at the time. Yeah. And he went to Harvard. Yeah, there you go. Right. So that was that guy. Yeah. That's how old we are.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy how you turn around and you go, Henry, I thought isn't Henry still 7 years old? Oh, Henry's 40. Okay, got it.
So you're doing Diner. Diner, that's a big break and early for you, right?
Yeah, really big. Oh, enormous. It got so many accolades, and it was such a good movie, and I got to work with all those guys. It was, it's really like it's our U.S. Open or our Masters or Super Bowl. When you win big on a show like that, and although it wasn't a blockbuster in commercial sense, but it lived so long, and it had such an effect on the creative community, that anybody who knows movies like you knows that picture.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Bacon, Mickey Rourke, Daniel Stern, Guttenberg, Elaine, who else was in that thing? Paul Reiser, right. Ellen Barkin.
Tim Daly.
Tim Daly, I mean, it was a real who's who of just young guys all at the beginning. I mean, take a look at what Mickey Rourke did after that, what Kevin Bacon did after that, Ellen Barkin. I mean, Steve Guttenberg. It's Daniel Stern. Like, it just, everybody just left that and just did incredible things. That was
I think that
Michael Madsen. Michael Madsen was in it? I didn't remember that.
No, he was in the pilot. They did a pilot for Diner.
Oh, that.
And he played Mickey's part, and Mike Binder played my part.
Wow. That comedian writer. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Oh, I never knew they did a pilot. It never got greenlit. I mean, never aired.
No, it didn't go. And I know Barry really wanted it to run, and for some reason it didn't get picked up. But it was, and the great thing is we still see each other once in a while. I saw Kevin over at SNL, and I went to Danny's farm. It's an enormous, giant farm. And I saw Tim Daly. We had breakfast a few months ago, and Paul. And then we went to Musso Frank's. There was a thing, some sort of a film festival, and a bunch of us went to Musso Frank's, and we had dinner, and then we went and did the show. It's I'm sure the same with your show and your movies. Sort of like attracts like. If you're lucky, you get people who are like you. You all look different, you act different, but inside you have something, a core. Maybe it's a core value system or something that gets you all together and makes something that really works.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking down at Three Men and a Baby and Cocoon and Short Circuit. And yeah, to speak to that, I grew up in the Valley. I grew up with sort of blue collar dudes. We like, dirt bikes and
sure,
wrestling and fighting and playing sports. And we didn't do anything. Yeah. It was a bunch of dudes, like a real dude kind of guys. And then I ended up in construction, and that was just a bunch of dudes, from Canoga Park and a lot of Hispanic guys, and it was just dudes and lots of talks about trucks and going to the lake and jet skis and beer and fighting and stuff. It was all dude stuff. But I never was able to connect with anyone or really talk to anyone about comedy. And then I got to the Groundlings. And when I got to the Groundlings, I was like, "Oh yeah, you guys want to talk about comedy? Like you're laughing, and we're talking about stuff. We're exchanging these ideas and stuff." And I was like, "I don't know where you people have been my whole life, but yeah, I've been waiting to talk to you people because I couldn't talk to any of these people about comedy. They didn't know, and they didn't care. They just wanted to get a beer and go down to the lake, And they wanted to fucking fight. That's all they wanted.
That was their connection. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that stuff too, but I was also thinking about comedy. And they never understood it. So when I got to the Groundlings, I had that sense of like, oh yeah, good. Yeah. We're home now.
Yeah. You're not weird. You're not weird. You're like among a bunch of people who are like you.
Yeah, but see, the thing that's strange or different, maybe, like when you watch the Pee Wee Herman documentary, you go, okay, Pee Wee Herman was this avant-garde, Paul Rubin was this avant-garde guy, always sort of weird, kind of cross-dressing and just doing all kinds of experimental stuff, like in high school and stuff. So he had to hang out with the weirdos. But I was captain of the football team, so I wasn't that person at all. I was sort of a jock who was fine with the jock stuff and the cars and the fighting and the beer and all the construction. That was my life. So no one ever looked at me and thought I never felt out of place or weird. I was sort of right in the middle of that. I just also was thinking about comedy, which made me weird for that group.
Sure. Yeah, you couldn't sort of express yourself, and I know the feeling, sensitively, or talk about a play, or talk about a comedic riff that you heard, and guys would be like, okay, but if you're sort of taking it apart, going, wow, how did he get from here to here, And I wonder, wow, how does he do that? How does that work? How did it work so well? How did that play work so well? And I was that way. And then when you find people who are like you, and by the way, I was in a class with Paul at the Groundlings.
Paul Reiser?
No,
or Paul Rubin?
Rubens.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was, quiet, a quiet lad, but, I became friendly with him, and he would do that with the Indian, and he would go on his toes. Mm-hmm. Remember that when he put on
sure.
His
yeah. He did the dance. He did the Pee-wee toe dance.
He did that dance. He did that in class. He did it on the Gong Show, I believe, when I was watching the doc. Really? I didn't see. Wow.
He was on the Gong Show, not as Pee-wee, but as another character. Right. You were there. You were at the Groundlings in what year? 76,
77, 78.
And how long were you at the Groundlings?
I took classes there for 3 years, almost 4 years, I think.
So you did beginning, intermediate, writer's lab.
Yeah.
Let's see, beginning, intermediate,
And Lorraine Newman's sister was one of my teachers. A really great lady. Forgot her name. Terrible.
Was Cynthia Seghetti there back then?
Yeah. And so many.
Well,
and Phil Hartman.
Yeah, Phil Hartman was there. Paul Rubens did the Jay Longtoe Native American character, the Indian who dances. Well, I don't know. Look, we're old, but let's talk about this, because I had this sort of discussion with a younger person and their friend. And I said, look, she said, I didn't really dig the Groundlings because they were too tough and they were kind of demanding, and I just didn't feel I didn't feel creative there because it was too much anxiety because they were too tough. And the friend, of course, was agreeing vehemently. And I said, look, I went to the Groundlings. I went through the Groundlings, and I had Cynthia Seghetti, and she was a bitch, and she yelled at me. And she would say, you would come walking, she'd go, oh, lights up, you come walking in. Cynthia's passed, by the way. She was a character actress. She was sort of she was sort of the elder statesman queen of the Groundlings. And so she'd be sitting there in the Groundling Theater, sort of alone, almost in the bleachers with a couple other students. And then you'd come in, she'd go, lights up, and you'd come in from backstage, and you'd come walking in, and you'd go, hi, what's happening here? And then she'd go, stop. And then you go, what? She'd go, you're walking in empty-handed. Bring something to the party. And I'd go, okay. I'd go back out again. Then I'd come walking in, and I'd come in, and I'd go, oh, I brought you a lovely fruit salad. What are you guys doing here? And she'd yell, stop. Don't ask questions. You know what they're doing. Go back out, come in again, and don't make me stop you. And I'd go, okay. And I'd go do it. And this person was going, yeah, man, that doesn't fly. And I go, that's how I got good. I got good at it because I got yelled at. I'm fine with it. Cynthia Seghetti loved me. She yelled at me more than anybody, but she fucking loved me. I knew she loved me. She was taking the time to yell at me.
Yeah. That's right.
And I'd like a little more of that back in society. I'm okay with it. I always knew, even when Cynthia Seghetti was yelling at me, she was yelling at me because she thought I had some potential.
Right. Isn't that cool? That's great. That's a great observation. That's such a great, healthy observation, because more people need it, because so many people get offended when someone's trying to, shape them a little bit. But what they're really doing is taking time out of their life to say, I care enough about you to say, go right instead of left. And that's what you should do.
Yeah, and later on, I would run into Cynthia after I had some success, and it was always great. She's like, Adam, my favorite student, and I was like, well, Cynthia, I knew. Like running into an old football coach that yelled at you, I knew what she was about. I was fine with it. So you were there. Yeah. You were East Coast guy. So what got you out to the Groundlings?
I came out in right after I graduated high school in Long Island in Massapequa, and I had 2 weeks to become a movie star. My parents gave me 2 weeks, and if I didn't do anything, I had to go back. I had to go start Albany State, upstate.
Now you're in Massapequa with the Baldwins, right?
Yeah, we're the same town. There were 3 high schools: Massapequa, Berner, and Plain Edge. And I was in Plain Edge, and Alec and Jerry and a bunch of other guys were at Massapequa.
You ever come across them? I mean, I think the Baldwins had quite a reputation, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Did you run into them at the sock hop or anything?
No, I used to run into Billy and Steven, and I think Alec at this luncheonette that we had, and I would always see them. And I think the owner told me that Steven or Billy was always stealing candy, and they were running after them. And Krish's luncheonette, which is a great luncheonette. And Jerry, I know Jerry used to go there too because I asked him about it. And every once in a while,
Wait, you're talking Jerry?
Guys.
Jerry who?
Seinfeld.
Oh, okay. I didn't. We're in Baldwin mode. I wasn't sure if there was a Jerry Baldwin that I never heard of.
I know. I think they had 2 sisters. I know there's 4 boys and 2 sisters, right?
So Seinfeld grew up there too?
Yeah, Jerry grew up in Massapequa, and his father had a sign company.
Yeah.
Cal Seinfeld Signs.
So you got the Baldwins, you got the Guttenberg, and you got Seinfeld all sort of about the same time from about the same place.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty rare.
And then years before, Dick Van Patten and Marvin Hamlish and Bryan Setzer.
Oh, the Bryan Setzer Orchestra. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was there too.
All right. So now you graduate high school and you just, at 18, you just know what you want.
Yeah, I was 17. It was June, and I wanted to become an actor. So I went out there and I just hustled my ass off, and I got a Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial, sitting in the stands with the Colonel, no dialogue, but yelling and screaming. And I called my parents, and they gave me another 2 weeks, and, that went on for a year.
So you flew out here. You had a one-way ticket to Los Angeles. And you had heard of the Groundlings, or where did you land? Like,
no.
Where'd you stay? What'd you do?
I stayed with my godfather, my parents' good friend from Brooklyn, Michael Bell, who was also an actor. And he immediately said, if you're going to stay, you got to go into the best improvisation in town. And he pointed me toward the Groundlings, and I started taking classes. Now, I never did improvisation before, and just had a great time with it.
And you booked your first commercial. You found an agent, I'm guessing?
Yeah, Michael Bell's agent. It was called Cunningham at the time. And they started sending me out as a favor to him because he was a big money maker for the agency. So he asked them to let me out, and they sent me on a few commercial interviews. That was my first interview, and they Taft-Hartley'd me, which means you got 30 days to join the union. And then you, and I remember it was $500 or something to join the union. It was crazy money. It was insane.
I know.
God.
I know. It's like, that's all you have to your name. So you get a spot, you're auditioning. What's the break? Is Diner the break? Diner was later.
Well, yeah, I just had a series of them. I did this teen movie with the guy who produced all the Beatles films, and it was a good teen movie. So, and I did a few other things, but after a year of being out in California, I couldn't take it anymore. I had no friends. Actors were so competitive. I didn't like the culture of being a professional actor, and I quit. And I went back to Albany State. And I started school, and I wanted to be a civilian. I didn't want to be an actor anymore. It was just too weird for me. the culture and the way it was all, you only get love when you book a job and that sort of thing. But anyway, I was going to school there for 6 months, and I got a call from my former agent, guy named Arnold Rifkin, and he calls me and says, I got an interview for you. And I said, I don't want to be an actor anymore. And my father said, look, go down, do the interview. If they choose you and you don't want it, you don't have to take it. I went down there and I walked into a room, and there's Greg Peck and Frank Schaffner, who directed one of my favorite movies, Planet of the Apes, with Charlton Heston. And I just was, so excited. I did the reading, and they hired me on the spot. And I remember I used their phone to call my dad, and I said, what do I do? And they were going to fly me to Portugal, to Vienna, to London, and a few months of working there. My dad said, you know what? You've never been to Europe. You can go back to college afterward, do this job, and then you'll go back to college. And that's what I did. And when I was over there, I started getting a lot of other offers, and I just took the bait. I took the bait.
That movie was The Boys from Brazil?
Yeah.
So that's a very serious, heavy movie. There was a big movie at the time, and it was basically Nazi war criminals who'd fled to Brazil. Is that the basic story of it? Gregory Peck is in this, James Mason. I mean, that's a real heavy. Laurence Olivier's in it. I mean, that's a big, star-studded, heavy cast about a real heavy, serious subject. And what part do you play in that?
I played a JDL member at the beginning, and all my scenes were with Larry Olivier, and I'm telling him, he's a Nazi hunter, where the Nazis are. So I was an informant. And it was a great part.
Probably based on a book, I guess. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, by Ira Levin.
All right. So that's a big, star-studded, heavy Hollywood movie, but it's serious. It's a far cry from Police Academy, for sure.
Sure.
I mean, and so now are you thinking I want to be a comedic actor, or are you thinking I just be an actor?
I just want to work. I mean, and it's never changed for me. I just like working. I like the feeling of getting it right, and I like the craft. And I learned I liked screen craft, learning how to work the camera and how to be your best and how to give the illusion in artificial circumstances that these feelings are real. So I never really said I want to be a comedic actor or a dramatic actor, or I want to be in a thriller or horror movies. I just wanted to work. And I also knew that I would sort of find the right place for me. My sort of specialty will come about. I was always told that by my acting teachers that at one point, Basil Rathbone, the story goes that Basil Rathbone thought he was really funny, and he wanted to be in funny movies. And they said, you just don't look funny, you don't look that way. And a lot of it is the equipment that you have, and that's what you get cast. But I've always just liked to work,
Well, I think I'd read earlier that your screen credits, you and Gene Hackman have the most credits from the 80s, that you actually did the most work, the most films in that decade. You and the late great Gene Hackman. So you did get your wish of working.
Yeah. Oh man, and it was so I mean that was a crazy time because I was doing 3 or 4 pictures a year and maybe home about 2 months a year, but it was the time to do it. My grandmother always said, make hay when the sun shines, do it when it comes about. And I remember having a conversation with, I got to tell you, I was at a dinner with Michael Caine and Gene, and the three of us, and Sidney Poitier was there, a bunch of other guys, and Gene and Hackman, and Sean Connery was there, and they were talking about being specific about working. And Hackman and Michael said, We take anything. It doesn't matter. As long as I get paid, I will do anything. And I thought that was really funny. And then Michael had a cool story about Jaws 4.
Oh, right.
They go, why did you do Jaws 4? Why did you do it? And he goes, I did it for the money. And they go, well, have you seen the movie? And he goes, I have not seen the movie, but I saw the house that I bought for my mother with the money from the movie. And I saw that and it made sense. And he said, I want to work. I want to make money so I can take care of my family, do nice things for my family and my friends. And, not that I would do anything, but I would probably do almost anything if I get paid and I can maybe make something of it. So I'm the guy who likes to work, and then there's, great actors who do one movie every 10 years, and everybody has a different point of view about it.
Yeah, I'm more the Michael Caine camp and the Steve Guttenberg camp, which is, I would like to work. I like to work and I like to get paid. Yeah. And I didn't look at it any differently than when I was a carpenter. It's like I worked, I got paid. I didn't necessarily question what we were building. I was there to build it. I was there to get paid, And there were like jobs that I was a little more into. They were a little more interesting or creative or what have you. And then there were jobs that were just kind of grunt work, boring. But it wasn't really, and no other profession has this criteria where you then decide, is it up to my standards? And no roofer, no plumber, no truck driver. No truck driver asks what's in the payload. You know what I mean? It's whatever. You drive the truck. That's. Don't worry about what's in the box in the back.
Yeah.
And that was kind of how I approached it as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the other approach is bad. Like there's a lot of comedians who, won't do a corporate gig. And I'm like, look, you go up on stage, they give you a microphone, and you talk, and then you get paid. It's not any different than a theater or a club. And they go, yeah, but this is a corporate gig. It's like, well, then you get paid more and you do less time. And then they go, yeah, but those audiences. And it's like, do you need to be paid and adored at the same time, or can you just get paid? Can you just get free food, get paid, and go home?
Yeah.
You don't have to be adored.
Yeah.
And also, if it's a corporate gig, that's up to you. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to work it out a little bit. Like, oh, it's 10 in the morning and it's the asphalt convention. It's like, okay, work it out then. Don't come at them with your late night set and your avant-garde bullshit. Work it out a little bit. You're getting paid. There's your challenge.
Yeah. And they're an audience too. They're the same human beings that probably go to the clubs, and they're human beings who want to laugh. Someone said to me, nobody goes and sees a comedian hoping that he's terrible. Everybody's going, they want to laugh. Right. I want to love this guy. I want to support this guy. I want this guy to make me laugh. I'm here. I got a big smile on my face. And I think everybody's, they got that momentum. And no matter if you're at a birthday party, a corporate event, you're at the Comedy Store, or you're in Iowa, that's what you do. And also you're bringing gifts to people who usually, sometimes people don't even laugh once during a day with their normal life. So I think it's a great service, an amazing service.
Speaking of getting out and doing events, you got an event coming up. It's the Police Academy 40th anniversary, and that's at the Gallo Center for the Arts. That's in Modesto, California. That's coming up on August 9th. How did that come about, and then how's that work? I mean, obviously it's a live event. You get up, you screen. I'm guessing you screen Police Academy, or at least you show bits and pieces.
Yeah, we screen the whole picture. It came about because I wrote a play and did it in Jersey, and I did it in Sag Harbor. A play, and it was a great experience. A lot of it was about my dad, and my dad passed 3 years ago. And I was thinking about doing the play all over the country and maybe taking it to Europe. But, Adam, I couldn't do the play anymore. I didn't want to do it. A lot of it was about when my dad was sick. And doing the play, every night it was emotionally kind of tough. I would rather do The Producers or, The Odd Couple as a play. But I was talking to this promoter, and she said, well, what if you maybe took Police Academy out, and then you show the picture, and then you do a question and answer and meet people and have some fun with it, and we could do that as a little side business for you. So I said, that sounds great. And I like meeting people, and I like, giving them something that brings back either great memories or makes them laugh today. And so we're going to do it in Modesto for the first time. And if it works, I'll do it everywhere. I really like I like a party. I like a good time, and that'll be a good time.
I'm with you. I am also surprised that comedians, especially, getting back to the, talking about the job and getting paid, and there's a lot of comedians that don't want to be touched by people or see people or hang out with people, and I'm like, you're a fucking comedian. What are you talking about? And they go, I'm not. And after every show I do, I go do a meet and greet, and people go, you don't have to do the meet and greet if it's late or you got to get back to the hotel or 2 shows, early morning flight. I go, no, I like meeting people. They all come by. They tell you why they like you. They'll tell you, I brought my son. I got him listening to the podcast or whatever. And they take a picture with them. You shake their hand.
Yeah.
Have a drink.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't know why. Why would you set up these rules? A lot of people are like, I don't like hanging out. I feel too claustrophobic. I don't want the crowd. It's like, I don't know what you're doing. What business are you in? Go into accounting then. You're up on stage holding the microphone. There's 300 people in the room, and you're talking for an hour while they're reminded to shut up and listen to you, and then you don't like people or you don't want to meet people. I don't get that.
I think there's something else. I've always found my friends who don't like to do that, they got something else going on.
Emotionally.
And take it out on the other people, like, no, I'm not going to meet you. No, I don't want to. No, I got to tell you.
Tell me.
I was around a celebrity, and they said their name. They said, let's say their name was John. Someone said hello, and they said, John is not meeting anyone new today.
I know. I don't. For me, it's a general subject that I'm really interested in, which is people and the rules, the number of rules. Like and now I always use the tomato, but here's what I'm saying about the tomato. Yes, you look perplexed. Here's what I'm saying. Here are my rules with the tomato. I like cut up tomato. I like tomato on a burger. I like tomato sauce. I like salsa tomato. I like tomatoes. Everyone else I know has very specific rules where they go, I like pizza. I like red sauce. I like pasta. I don't like raw tomato. I don't want tomato on my salad. I don't want it on my burger. If it's cooked, I'm fine. And it's like, why so many rules? Why not just enjoy the fucking tomato? Can we just enjoy tomato? What's with all the rules? And why do you do that to yourself? And then this extends to all John is not going to meet anyone new. How about you meet someone new, John? Yeah, maybe to sit down and enjoy tomato. What? Why impose? I have people tell me all the time, I don't do this and I don't do that. And I'm like, who cares? And people go, you fly Southwest? I go, yeah, I don't care. It's to Phoenix. It's 51 minutes. I don't care.
Right.
Why do you fly south? I don't fly. Okay, you have rules. I don't really have rules. I don't know what people think it is, but I'm telling you, if you're listening, try to have as few rules as possible. It'll make it easier. It just makes life easier.
Well, I have, when you talk to your friends and you go, why don't you do that? Then they get furious.
Right.
And, and you get furious with you and you go, you know what? We don't need to fight over this. Let's go get a tuna fish sandwich and enjoy some life right now, please.
No, my solution is when they say no tomatoes on my salad, I go, put them on the side. I'll take them. I get more. That's what I do. All right.
Wow, that's great.
Your dad, you seem happy and adjusted, and your vibe is just a sort of positive and good vibe. I don't know you well, but from the time that I've spent with you, I'm like, oh, Guttenberg, good dude. And you kept sort of weaving in your dad and calling him and asking him for advice, and your dad saying, go out in 2 weeks and come back, and you brought your dad up a few times, and that's good. So you must have a base, because your dad and mom, I'm sure, are solid. Like, gave you like a good solid base, like a healthy relationship base.
Yeah. They're really, I always say, my dad, when I was a little kid, I thought my dad was full of it. He goes, everything you need to know in this world, you're going to learn at this kitchen table. You need to be at the kitchen table when we have company, when the family is here, when we have friends, when I have business people, when it's just you and your mom and your two sisters. You're going to sit at this table and you're going to learn everything you need. So if you ever meet the Pope, or you ever meet a president, or you ever meet a big time guy, you're going to know how to handle yourself from what you learn at the kitchen table. And I think it's true. I could sort of take everything I learned listening and talking to whatever position, whatever I'm into. My parents were always pretty solid and very positive, and always tried to smile and make a joke. And, my dad said, 80% of life is supposed to be happy. 20% is going to be tough. And you're going to have some really horrible days and some bad things and disappointments, and you're going to lose people and things. But 80% of life is supposed to be funny and happy. You're supposed to be happy most of the time. That's what you're supposed to do. So I kind of go by that, and I understand that 20% of life, things are going to happen, horrible, bad things are going to happen, but it shouldn't be most of life.
That's a very good way to think. So last question for you, Steve. I have this thing about people, and I can kind of judge their childhood by their sandwich score. You're talking about sitting at the kitchen table. Let's talk about the sandwich. Now, here's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Dr. Drew didn't have a great mom, and so what he had was a shit sandwich mom. Now, you don't think you can get lower than shit sandwich mom, but I had no sandwich mom, which is a slightly worse than shit sandwich mom. And then there's moms who toasted the bread. The bread, Drew's mind was blown when he found out moms even toasted the bread. Like, that's a whole extra step. For my mom, it would have been electricity was used. Who's going to pay for that? With the toaster and the heating coils. And it just was a whole different level of caring that Drew, who had shit sandwich mom, was not into. But if your mom had a specific, and it doesn't need to be an expensive sandwich, it's just your sandwich, sure, what you like. Would your mom make that sandwich for you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Man.
What was your sandwich?
Mom,
what was your sandwich?
It was toasted rye bread.
Toasted rye. Toast.
Did you hear me?
An extra step of love.
Toasted perfectly.
Rye.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And tuna fish with chopped up celery in it.
Had it last night. Had tuna fish with chopped up celery last night.
Oh.
Made it myself, not my mom. Yeah.
Now you made yourself, because now you know how to make it. You learned.
Mm-hmm.
And lettuce, tomato, and a pickle on the side.
A pickle on the side. Okay, so you had, I'm going to give your mom a 9 sandwich.
Nice.
Sandwich department. And that's why you're so adjusted. That's why you're happy. That's why you're happy to meet people. And that's why you're not a troubled actor, because you had a sagely dad and a great sandwich score of a mom. She toasted that rye, man. The old deli rye, the thin rye, not the big chewy rye, the thin rye. Made a nice crispy little crunch to it. Can almost see light pass through it if you held it up, the thinner stuff. Yeah. All right, Guttenberg, a good note to go out on. Happy mom sandwich, high sandwich score. Everyone has to think of your mom. Give her a sandwich score. That's how much she loved you.
I'm thinking about the shit sandwich and the no sandwich, Mom. Oh my God.
You got lucky, son. Kidnapped by Killers, the name of the movie. It's on Lifetime. You can stream it now on Philo, or you can watch it for free on Lifetime with ads. And then the Police Academy's coming up, 40th anniversary. That'll be in August, 9th, Modesto Gallo Center for the Arts. Steve, when you're in town, come by, man.
I will. And Adam, last time I was there, you had a show that night, and I couldn't go to it. I had some personal issues, but next time I'm coming to town, I want to come see you, and I want to see a show, and you make me laugh so much. You have such a great spirit, and you're a really special guy, and I always felt that when I met you. You're a very special guy, and you got a great family, and you're a good person, and you're very funny. And man, thanks for the laughs today.
Thanks, Steve. Again, we honor your mother on a great sandwich score. All right, we'll take a break. Brother. We'll do some news right after that.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Peace, man. This is Warren up in Folsom. Just heard breaking press release. The Gavinator has steered $100 million towards affordable housing in the Palisades and Eaton fire districts. Just what we thought might happen all this time. Here we go. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah. This whole, there's no affordable housing in Brentwood or Beverly Hills or Malibu. Yeah, bitch. That's how it works. That's how
I'm going to apply for Section 8 in Calabasas.
Yeah, listen, I was poor most of my life, and no, there was no housing in Malibu. That's where rich people live. That's how it works. Now, there was apartments in North Hollywood, and that's where I lived, and it was fine. Now, here's the whole deal about this. Your job isn't to get a poor family a home in the Palisades. Your job is to have affordable housing in reasonable neighborhoods that are safe and clean and orderly. So if people are like, man, it's Sodom and Gomorrah out here. My kid's got to dodge gunfire, walk into school. Well, how about you clean up that fucking neighborhood? Don't take those people, pick them up and move them to the Palisades. And by the way, I got bad news for you, but if you pick up those people and move them to the Palisades, then your kid's going to have to run serpentine to fucking Palisades High because gunfire is going to be going off because guess who's firing the fucking guns? Those fucking people. So clean up that neighborhood. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to live anywhere in the San Fernando Valley. It should be safe and clean and orderly.
Stay low and run in a zigzag pattern, Chad.
Yes, Chad. So that's what they're going to do. There's this weird thing where they're constantly, their number one priority is figure out a way to get shit away from people that work hard and earn their money and give it to other people to somehow fix their life. That shit doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know how everyone who wins the lottery ends up fucking bankrupt 3 years later, or they die of an OD or whatever? It doesn't. You can't do that. They can earn their way. You can teach them a trade. You can try to create an environment where they can flourish, but you can't hand them shit.
With great power comes great response, a trillatrans.
All right, what do you got there?
All right, here's some Peak California. An arsonist stopped by fitness influencers along the Hollywood Hills hiking trail. Yeah, one of my favorite spots to hike Runyon Canyon. The man was arrested.
Influencer. Yeah, you know who our fitness fucking influencer? Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
just fucking jacked.
Jacked out of his mind.
Jacked out of his mind. That's who our fitness influencer was. Like that dude.
Everything feels like calming.
Now, by the way, you being a 23-year-old chick and not being fat doesn't make you a fitness influencer.
Well, she fills out them yoga pants quite right. Have you seen her OF?
I'm saying, again, your ass being the right shape doesn't, when you're 23, doesn't make you it doesn't mean we need to follow your advice.
I know.
How did you get such a shapely ass? That's how it's fucking born. We do this all the time. It's like, Heidi Klum, what are your secrets? Fucking great genetics, bro.
Well, I'll tell you here, okay, all right, back in my day, no, they didn't have Instagram influencers figuring out how to make your butt perfect, and these days, butts are at an all-time high.
Are they? You butt guy?
I mean, I am, but you know what I mean? I dance around the subject in every direction.
All right. Okay. All right.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, they caught him. He was caught in the...
Wait, do we have footage
Yeah,
of it?
we have some footage there. He's starting...
This. We've crafted a society where we have piles and piles and piles of deranged, drug-addled, and crazy people just sort of
milling about.
Yeah. And so people go, somebody stole my dog, or somebody hit my cat with a machete, or somebody started a fire. Yeah, I don't know. How else do you think this is how else would this go?
It's kind of countrywide. It's in Nashville. They had like these guys that were, they shove them out of the town, the bar town, but they're like sauntering around in the shadows all day. And it's kind of like a zombie apocalypse where all the zombies stay hidden in the shadows until the night comes out, and then they run wild.
It's a strange thing that we've become accustomed to, and it's interesting. It's kind of interesting. It's like when you see a guy with a really fat wife, and you're thinking to yourself, man, you're in pretty good shape for 56-year-old dude, but your fucking wife is huge, and you go, and then you think to yourself, how long have they been? I've been married for 27 years, and you go, your wife's so fat, and you think, how'd that happen? And then you go, oh, she gained 8 pounds a year for the last 20, but I'll tell you how it happens slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly. If you just went to bed with your bride, and you just woke up with today's version of Lena Dunham, you'd be like, holy fuck, what the fuck? But if your bride just put on 7 pounds a year,
you wouldn't even notice.
For the last 21 years,
every Christmas.
Then here we are.
14,
right, and that's
21.
That's what we do with homelessness and junk and graffiti and failing schools and everything. It's real slow. It's real slow, and it just keeps happening. And eventually, you're just stepping over a homeless guy to pick up your mail versus, sleeping with this sow of a wife of yours. And listen, it's a two-way street. Guys get fat too. It's the same thing. I'm trying to think. Here's a challenge for you.
All right.
You're a fitness expert.
All right.
I'm gonna put this up to the peanut gallery. I feel like I see skinny guys with fat chicks, and I feel like I see two fat people, the fat couple, skinny guy with fat chick, and I guess there's skinny guy with skinny gal with fat dude.
Yep.
What's more prevalent in the long marriage, like in the 20-year marriage department?
Come on, man. Your old lady gets fat. That's just standard. You know what I mean?
But the dude gets fat.
Yeah. But his chick ain't skinny. 9 out of 10, unless he got some dollar bills, y'all.
Okay, so I don't even know what you said. All right, but the point is this.
Mayhem.
I kind of like... You know what I like? I like the tacit agreement of we're both getting fat. I like that thing where it's like, it's just you go, look, I'm 63, you're 67. Do you really give a fuck?
Yeah.
And wouldn't you rather have ribs tonight than kale? And it's like, yep. Okay, so we're both just going to be fat, and no one's going to want to fuck us, and that's fine. The mutual assured destruction. And that's it. I understand that world.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I feel like sometimes that's nice when I see a nice couple out to Huskies. I'm very happy for them. You know, they're enjoying their food, ribs, sauce all over their face. Partly part of the sexuality. You know, I think that it's good for them. I think America needs to chub up again.
Oh, we're there. All right. So anyway, we have oodles of crazed people who walk amongst us, and they never go home, and they don't have a mortgage, and they don't need insurance, and they don't need anything other than to just sort of live. And then we get these weird random acts, like who's got the chainsaw and is cutting down all those trees in downtown? You know how long it takes to grow one of those trees? And that guy did it all in 30 seconds, cut down 14 trees. What? And then we do this weird thing. Who would do that? It's like, well, a crazy
I'll posit
person
this
would
to you.
do
I'll
that.
posit this to you, all right? If we had to stay in this room, right? Schizophrenic guy sitting right there, okay? A scary gangbanger sitting right here, and you had to sit here, all right, for 9 months and eat bag of lunch. That was all you got. Just slop all the time.
Prison.
How long before you start acting weird? And what if somebody come up to you and, hey, I have this substance in my hand that will make you forget that you're here?
Drugs.
Yeah. Oh, how long before Adam Carolla starts chopping down trees and lighting fires?
Listen, first off, I would look forward to prison these days. I got a busy schedule. Number one. Number two, I'm not saying, here's what I'm saying.
I'm saying it's a factory. It's like, it's not a bug. It's a feature, not a bug.
I get, listen, everything needs to work. Everything needs to be revamped and work. But what I'm saying is letting people stroll around the street with the machete and a load in their pants that's not the answer.
Yeah, you're right.
We need some other version of this.
But like no hospital take them to? There's no, you know what I mean? There's like barely any jail space for all the other crimes that's going on.
Well, look, okay. First things first. We can dance around the symptoms, or we can go to the cause. The cause are fucked up, broken families. We need to focus on that. If everyone's last name was Guttenberg, we'd all have a sandwich in our belly and a song on our lips.
And a seat at the kitchen table.
And a seat at the kitchen table, because his mom, I don't know if you heard, I gave her a 9 in the sandwich department.
I mean, sandwich-tastic.
Steve Guttenberg is Steve Guttenberg because Steve Guttenberg comes from a real fucking solid-ass family that took the time to tell him right from wrong and toast him some nice rye and make him a wonderful sandwich. So that's how Steve... Now, dad was a raging alcoholic and mom was never around and so on and so forth, and then he got pushed out in the streets when he was 14. Then we might have a different version of Steve Guttenberg. So can we at least... Let's figure out... There's a great line in the Freddie Blassie wrestler song called Pencil Neck Geek. Do you know that song?
I mean, I heard that term many a times. I call people that.
Professional wrestler wrote a novelty song called Pencil Neck Geek, grit eating freak, no good moron with a lousy physique. He's a one-way, no good losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek.
Yeah. Well, this is like a common insult
so
around my
he
town.
goes, at the end of the song, he goes, they say these pencil neck geeks are a dime a dozen. I'm looking for the guy providing the dimes. and I'm like,
That's good. That's
homeless
good.
people are a dime a dozen. Who's providing the fucking dimes?
Yeah.
How did these people are like, well, I came here from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Okay, where's your home? Where's your fucking dad? Where's your system? Where's your safety fucking net? Where you? What's going on with you? What's going on with your family? My kids can't be homeless because they got me and they got their mom and I work and I'm semi-sober and I will take care of my kids. They will always have a sofa to live in. If I have to pay to get them help or rehab or whatever, then that's what we're going to do. So we don't have to worry about them. Pencil Neck Geek. Can you play it? Just play the end. And you can hear Freddie Blassie.
Get a YouTube takedown over this.
Oh, Are we allowed to play this?
I know. I don't know.
I don't know.
The rules.
There's a master list essentially of major labels. Yeah. So I don't think this is in the
you sure?
Paradigm. We'll see.
Warner Media Group owns that. You never know. I got taken down a few times.
All right. Well, you guys could go look. Just go look.
I'm Blassie. Right, I realize that. I just thought perhaps we could improve on the
you know something, engineer?
All right, forget it. Let's just play don't even play it. Just play it at home. I don't want to fucking deal with it. I want to play you a tape. It's a LA City Councilwoman, Imelda Padilla, which is... Okay, a lot of the problems that we're having right now are chick think, and everyone hates it when I say that, but that's what we're dealing with. We elected too many dingbat chicks. We put them in too many big positions of power. They have some sort of version of life that doesn't really exist. It's up in their head. Here's basically what it is. They would half these dingbats would stand in Tiburon on the other side of the bay. The other half would stand in San Francisco, and they would dream of a bridge. And they would discuss a bridge, and they would talk about the children need a bridge, and they want to live in it, and no bridge would ever get built. Because some fucker at the end of the day has got to go do it, and they're not doing any of it. But they would dream of a day, and they would have marches, and they would have slogans, and they would talk about it, and they would have discussion groups, and half of them would stand in Tiburon, and half of them would stand in San Francisco, and they would dream of a bridge, and they would discuss the bridge, and they would get elected on a bridge, but there'd never be a bridge would ever get built with these dingbats.
Do you realize there is an actual real-world recent example of that in New York City? They spent $100 million to light all the bridges in New York. Guess how many bridges are lit? Zero. $100 million are gone. And all the lights are still in a box in storage that New York City paid $2 million to store for the last 7 years.
So that's chick think right there. And look, there are a lot of dudes that are infected with chick think. Look how Gavin Newsom crosses his legs. Look how Barack Obama crosses his legs. Look at how Justin Trudeau crossed. That's all chick think. It's not all. You can have a cock and balls and suffer from chick think. But we may have a new leader in the clubhouse, Nithya Raman, who's always a perpetual leader because she wanted to blame Toyota for making catalytic converters super easy to steal. We have Councilwoman Imelda Padilla, and
she's one of my favorites.
She's talking to the police chief, and she's got an idea. By the way, it's also stupid but empowered is a very dangerous. Like what we have is a lot of stupid and righteous, and that's a problem. So listen to her. Right. To the police chief who's trying to enforce laws that if you're really loyal to Los Angeles, you're going to warn our illegal lawbreakers that ICE is coming in so they can avoid participating in the law when they're here illegally. So a city councilwoman, her concern, she's not talking about rebuilding the Palisades. She's talking to a dude and saying, give everyone a heads up so they can run before the law shows up, even though you are the law in this city. All right, so that's her request, by the way. She wants to know what he can do about it. We'll hear what his answer is. He's a dope.
Yeah.
First off, these people are fucking dumb, which is scary because we're like, hey, we gotta work something out with the aqueduct system, and they're like, I don't know what that fucking is, but I am worried. But the fucking gay pride parade is coming. That I can talk about. Listen. Here's the bottom line. I know no one likes it. They don't want to hear it. Once you get enough of these people, you're fucked because they're in charge. I mean, they're making policy and they're fucking dumb. And not only dumb, they want the opposite of everything you want. So it's a combo of dumb and wants the opposite of whatever you want. I want filled aqueducts and less street vendors. That's illegal street vendors with filled aqueducts. She wants no aqueducts and tons of street vendors, I guess. Or maybe they don't know what they want. I don't know. Did this person beat out Nithya Raman blaming Toyota? I just don't think. I've learned that you cannot beat Steve Guttenberg's mom in the sandwich department, and I've learned you cannot beat Nithya Raman in the dingbat I'm going to put a microphone in front of my fucking retarded mouth and say shit to people who are all going to think I'm clinically insane. Department. I don't think you can. Blaming Toyota.
I know, yeah.
And also, not only blaming Toyota, sounding like a fucking imbecile while she's saying it. She's like, they make a thing that's easier to steal than like a MacBook Pro. Okay, bitch, I don't know what you're saying. What is the suggestion? Well, then Toyota should pay. Okay, no one knows what the fuck you're talking about. You sound like a retarded person. I have no idea how you got to this position, but I will tell you, it's a critical mass thing. People go, how much of this can we absorb? And you know what I say? You know what I tell them, mayhem? I say, the ocean. The ocean is amazing. And it heals and it repairs and it can take almost everything you throw at it. You know, tanker spills and pollution and rivers of toxic waste just flowing,
churning along.
It just keeps churning. But eventually, eventually fish start floating to the top. Exactly. Eventually, and we can take a whole bunch of fucking dumb broads with horrible ideas and bad policy. We can keep it, but eventually,
the tipping point comes.
Eventually, we'll have so many fucking dingbats making so many bad ideas that the place may burn down.
I know.
Yes.
It's something about empathy. Like if we have a team, we have to have somebody to slow the juggernauts down, right? Somebody. But now we hired all those whiny types to allegedly build bridges and tunnels and fix fires.
They don't do anything but talk about the trans community and then get angry at the police chief. All right, let's do one more. What do you got? Or two more.
Man.
Give me a choice.
All right, I'm going to give you a choice about a Burger King worker or an American Idol music boss getting murdered.
Oh, yeah. That's a crazy story. First things first, they're murdered in a very nice part of this city, which is Encino.
And not only that, they had a fortified castle around them and had gone to the security store about a previous break-in. Attempted, I should say. Yeah,
so they're living in what I could see from looking at it in the neighborhood and sort of just eyeballing the square footage and that whole 9 yards. They're living in a $6 to $9 million home.
Yeah,
and it has a high wall around it. It has security cameras
and put
everywhere.
The bars on the top, the spiky kind of bars.
They spiked the top of the gate. They did everything. Here's kind of the bottom line. If I just said I'm going to hire an assassin to kill Mayhem,
be pretty simple. Just wait
really
outside the gym.
You could go, I'm going to get a bulletproof vest and I'm going to look left and right after I leave my apartment or something. It's like, it's not really doable. He's going to get you at some point.
If somebody sends a torpedo, you know what I mean? It's fire and forget. Like, this kid's going to prison forever.
Right. This is a... So Encino used to be a really nice neighborhood, and so did that part of the valley. And then crime started kind of... Something happened, and what happened in the last several years in this city, it happened with crime the same way it happened with homelessness. Crime, when you'd go to the inner city and you'd go to the barrio and you'd go to South Central, there's always bars on all the windows. And these are junker houses with these shitty bars. It's also kind of a weird thing where it's like, well, we live in a society where you're not in prison, but you have to sort of put bars. Your kid will grow up staring out a window through bars. Later on, maybe he'll see bars in his prison cell. But either way, we live in that society. And those houses would always get robbed. But if you really think about it, what's in the poor guy's house?
Maybe a flat screen,
Maybe. I mean, how much good stuff's in there?
Kilo of cocaine.
And the poor people also lived in Skid Row.
Mm-hmm.
And I always sort of thought to myself, if I was homeless, I'd go to fucking Santa Barbara and be homeless. I'd go homeless by the beach with the rich people. I would live in a nice... If I just said you're homeless, you can live wherever you want. Well, then I'd pick a nice neighborhood to live in. But the homeless lived in, Skid Row, and then they all robbed each other in the neighborhood, in the hood. And then at some point, the robbers and the homeless went, wait a minute. Why are we robbing the poor people where we live? They don't got shit in their house. Why don't we go to Encino? They have nice stuff there. And the homeless people went, wait up, because I'll live in Encino too. What the fuck am I flopped around in South Central for? I'm going to Encino too. And they all went. And so now we have homeless in the nice neighborhoods, and then we have crime in the nice neighborhoods. And the real problem with when you're in a nice neighborhood like Encino, or you're in a nice neighborhood like Hancock Park, you can get back to the barrio real fucking fast from the nice neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to be, if you're on top of some hill deep in Malibu or something, then where are you going? It's going to take a long time to get back in the hood. It's going to take you a half hour just to be in Calabasas with the Kardashians. And that's kind of what you want. But Encino's had like a lot of break-ins and, just
they
weird,
say
scary
that this
stuff.
could have been sort of random. He jumped the fence and kind of laid in wait for 30 minutes.
Well, the guy broke into the house. Mm-hmm. The alarm went off. Our neighbor saw it, and they called the cops.
Yes.
This is the sad part. The cops showed up, and the cops were like, we can't get into the house because it's fortified.
Yeah.
And they weren't going crazy over the fence into the shrub like the 22-year-old gunman did.
Yes.
So they came to the house while the gunman was in the house.
Yeah.
Before the couple came home.
Yes.
And then they probably hit the buzzer a few times, and then they left. And then the couple came home and were shot dead by the guy who broke in their house, which is tragic. But it's even more tragic that the fucking cops were there before they got there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But what would you want? Like, the cops jump the fence and do a sweep?
I had the cops jump the fence. I was in a towel, but I was drinking. Yeah, okay. You caught me. I did have the cops jump over a fence and come into my house.
And you were pretty pissed, right?
No, because the reason it was a faulty alarm, but I wasn't pissed because the alarm went off. I wasn't aware the alarm went off, and they were responding to the alarm. Yeah. So I'm not. First off, fuck everyone that gets annoyed.
Yeah.
Fuck you. These people. Yeah, and I'll tell you who these people are. They're the people where, like, you order a sectional sofa, right? You order it, you pay for it, and then at some point, 6 weeks later, there's a moving van, a cube van with the thing, and it's being delivered, right? And right at that time, your ex-wife or this person, could be a roommate or whoever, the person that lives in the house with you, they come pulling up the driveway, and the cube truck that's got the sectional sofa in it's being dropped off is blocking them. And then they come in and they're fucking coming the fucking front door with a head of steam. What's going on? I couldn't park. It's like, bitch, you're getting a fucking free sofa. These guys are dropping it off. They're going to be here for 10 minutes. Shut the fuck up. You're not allowed to be pissed. You're not allowed to be pissed. I know you're pissed because you're coming up the driveway and you couldn't get to the garage, but shut up. You're not allowed to be pissed. You're getting a fucking free sofa, and these guys are bringing it in the house. So shut up. Shut up. It's very specific. No, I've run into this my entire life. Shut up. You're not allowed to be pissed. This is on you. This is timing. You're getting a free sofa. My alarm went off. Cops are banging on my door. I answer the fucking door, and there are 4 of them standing there. It was on TMZ, and I'm like, huh? And it's like, the alarm went off, and I'm not allowed to be pissed. I don't care. I was drinking wine. I was watching Sports Center, but I'm not allowed to be pissed because they're doing their job, just like the furniture guy.
Yeah, well, this guy didn't, they didn't do the job.
I don't know. This is, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to this is going to give way. If Nithya Raman and Dingbat #1, LA City Councilwoman, can find time, we need some protocol where the cop has the cell phone number of the,
Right?
the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the address.
I was thinking exactly
Here's
that,
the number. Hey, if you're a taxpayer and you're going out to dinner, you should want the cops that have that information. Yeah. And then they would call you or text you, and they would say,
that we don't do that. There's no communication.
We've come to your home. No. We cannot get in. Would you like to give us the gate code? We can enter, or we can wait here until you return and escort you in. Yeah, there's going to be protocol from now on. Mm-hmm. All right. You can see me. I'm going to be at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee